I want to tell you about someone I met on a run last weekend. I was out doing my weekend base training, just me, the road, and steady pace, when a woman pulled up alongside me and asked if she could run with me. I said sure. We started talking. Within a few minutes, I was in full coach mode because what she described stopped me in my tracks. She had set a personal goal of running 14 miles every single day. On top of that, she was swimming 5 hours a week. She barely slept. She ate one large meal at night. That morning, on the day we met, she had had only a handful of cherries. That was it. And she was on mile 9.5 when she found me. Her legs were telling her to stop. She was feeling defeated because she wasn't going to hit that 14 miles that day. I asked her how long she had been doing this for. She said 3 months, non-stop, no rest days. I encouraged her to stop and call it a day. She did, but she was devastated. And I want to talk about why, because that story isn't unique to her. I see versions of it all the time. Maybe you recognize it in yourself too. My name is Mike Healy. I've been coaching health and wellness for over 17 years. And if there's one thing I've learned about people who genuinely care about their health, the ones who are motivated, committed, and working hard, it's this. Caring about your health is not enough if you're not recovering from it. Let me say that again. The effort you put in only becomes results during recovery, not during the workout, not during the run, during the rest, the sleep, the nourishment, the hydration that follows. Without recovery, effort is just damage. Here's what's actually happening in your body when you train without recovery properly. Your muscles break down during exercise. That's normal. It's the stimulus for growth and strength. But the repair happens during sleep, specifically during deep sleep when human growth hormone is released and tissue is rebuilt. Cut sleep short and you're skipping the most important part of the process. You're breaking the body down repeatedly without ever letting it rebuild. That's not fitness, that's erosion. At the same time, chronic sleep deprivation throws your hunger hormones into chaos. Ghrelin, the hormone that drives hunger, it spikes. Leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, drops. So you're training harder, burning more, and simultaneously feeling hungrier, less satisfied from food, and more drawn to quick energy sources like sugar and simple carbs. The woman I met on that run had barely eaten. Her body was running on fumes and cortisol. And by mile 9.5, there was nothing left to give. And then there's cortisol itself. When you're chronically underslept, underfueled, and overtrained, cortisol stays elevated. And elevated cortisol makes it significantly harder for your body to burn fat, build muscle, regulate mood, and sustain energy throughout the day. You can be working incredibly hard and elevated cortisol will quietly work against every single one of your efforts. Here's what I wanted to address directly because I know who's watching this. You're putting everyone else first. Sleep gets cut because there aren't enough hours in the day. You're up late catching up on life, the chores, the Netflix, the phone, and then setting an early alarm to squeeze in a workout before the chaos begins the next day. Running on empty and calling it discipline. It isn't discipline, it's depletion. And there's a difference. Here's what actually is happening. Your muscles break down during training. The repair happens during sleep, specifically during deep sleep when growth hormone is released and tissues rebuild. Cut sleep short and you're breaking the body down repeatedly without ever letting it rebuild. That's not fitness, that's erosion. Add chronic underfueling and dehydration on top of that, and your hunger hormones go haywire. Your cortisol stays elevated and your body has no raw material to adapt and recover with. The efforts you're putting in has nowhere to go. Recovery isn't what happens after the work, recovery is the work. Sleep, nourishment, and hydration are not extras. They are the foundation that makes every other effort count. Build the training plan, but build the recovery plan first. If you're grinding hard and not seeing the results, DM me the word coach. Let's build something that actually works for the long run. You can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first.